Hey everyone, it's Lainey, and I just wanted to come on here and show you guys how to create a logo. If you don't know how, but this is the Procreate version. I will be making a Canva version in another video. Now, a lot of people are new to Procreate or may not have Procreate. I'm not sure what your situation is, but Procreate is, well, it was for me $8 at the time, but that's a lifetime purchase. I don't know why people keep saying that you have to pay lifetime and then month to month, because I don't. So I'm not sure what they're doing, because I've had Procreate for a very long time now. So let's get started. So how I make a logo, and this is just a random design. We're making a flower design. We're going to call it Flora's Flowers. I would make a circle. Now, I can make any type of logo for you, but this is just if you don't have the money or just want to learn how to do Procreate yourself. Now, what I did there was I went to this little tool thing, the wrench. Then I go to Canvas, Drawing Guide. And now that it's on already, I will show you how edit and then symmetry. And then you have the option of vertical, horizontal, quadrant, or radial. I chose vertical. So, now that's on. Now what that helps me do, make this bigger. Now what that helps me do is make it to where the lines will match on both sides. Now what I did there was I drew a line, like so, held it, and then put my finger on the canvas. And what that does is it makes a perfectly straight line. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the editing and move that line down. So now it's basically a rectangle inside of a square, pretty much. Now what we're going to do is fancy this part up a little bit, so that way they're connecting. And the good thing about the assisted part is anything you do on this side will appear on this side. That's how assisted works. Now, continuing on. So now that we got that done, what we're going to do now is, so if we're making a logo for a flower company, what I would do now, everybody is different. This is why we all have different creations. What I would do now is draw flowers. So what we're going to do from start to the bottom is draw a stem. Now it does not have to be perfect, because this is just a sketch. Now there's your stem. Well, actually, let me make that in the center. So what we're going to do, hold the line down, just like I showed you. Okay, now that's perfectly centered. Now we're going to make a little rounder line up here. Now the first flower we're going to draw is a daisy. Now these will be the predominant flowers that you have in the flower shop, like the best sellers. You want to focus on those. So here's the pollen activated part. Let's be honest, for all of our allergy people, because I know I'm highly allergic to pollen, and we're going to take that part out. Now what we could do to make our lives easier is we go to edit, drawing guide, options, and radial, and then we move that blue dot up to the center of that circle. And then now guess what happens? You go to your layer 2, drawing assist, and watch the magic. Now everything you draw in one area will be to the other, like so. Now we're going to take the assisted off, go back to the wrench, take the drawing guide off, and then we're going to erase this line and erase this one. Now we have a decent looking flower. Now of course, this is just a sketch, but if you really want to go back, you can make the stem skinnier, but we don't have to do that right now. Now we're going to make another layer. And actually, matter of fact, what we're going to do is take out this part too, because it's going to be behind the lettering. The lettering is going to be right here in this rectangle. we're going to size the eraser up and continue to erase until it's done. Now, layer number 3 will be the next flower. So this will be your second best seller pretty much. We're going to have it a little bit curved. Now this one is going to be behind this first flower, Mr. Number 1 right here. Now we're going to do the same thing. Actually, let me make that stem a little bit skinnier. But we're going to be doing the same thing as the other one. We're going to do this. Now with this one, we're going to make that a little bit shorter, so that way it can fit in the actual circle. I know it looks like a noodle now, but just wait. The masterpiece will come. Now, we're going to draw a tulip. And we're going to erase the stem part like such. It does not have to be perfect. Again, this is just a sketch. Now, let's draw that down. Okay, draw that down. Draw that. And then we draw the big bulbous area. Draw that down. Have those two meeting. There you go. There's your tulip. Now we're going to do the exact same thing as we did with the sunflower, and erase this middle part so that way it's hiding behind the font. Now layer number 3 is going to be your third bestseller. Now usually I would put 5 flowers, but you don't want the flowers to overwhelm either. So draw another line. Let me move that down a little bit. Okay. Let's see. What could be another seller? Roses are kind of hard to draw, but let's go for it. Let's try it. Because I know that's a very popular flower. A lot of people love seeing roses. Whew. I'm going to do my best with this, guys, because roses are not my strong suit. Okay, let's see. Let's go that way. See, honestly, what I like to do normally is I like to go to the wrench bar, add text, go to the emojis, and type in a rose. This is not stealing. This is more or less the fact that some things you just don't know how to draw and you need a little bit of help with. Like so. So, technically a rose kind of looks like a tulip, if you will, in all honesty. Okay, now as you can see, it has a little bit of a lip there. And I understand other artists don't like to trace and all that mess. And I respect that. But tracing helps out a lot of other people. So what I normally do, I do trace some of my art, but I also put my own spin on it as well. Let's do that part. Yes, okay. That down. So tracing isn't necessarily bad per se, but if, like, for example, an artist has it for a personal commission, don't trace the art. That's called stealing. I mean, like I said, you can trace it, but don't trace it to the point where it looks exactly like the art. It doesn't make any sense to do that stuff. Because honestly, I hate to say it, but tracing is really how you learn how to draw better. Alright guys, that's the best we gonna get with the rose. Because again, I'm not professional, so. Okay, let's erase that part. Alright. Move that over just a tad bit over there. Okay. So with that being done, next, now this one, remember, these are all going to be merged down. So what I did there is I took layer 4 to layer 2 and I pinched it. I pinched them all together. Now if you don't want to do that, you can simply go onto the layer, click it, and choose merge down and do the same routine. Now what we're going to do from here is you have two choices here. Either you can sketch out your own font, or you can download some font from a free website. Make sure it's for commercial use, by the way. And you can use said font in your design. Now we're going for a flower shop, so I want to make it a little bit fancy. And here's actually one of my favorite fonts I've been using so far. It's called Nectarine Demo. And yes, you can also find this on Canva. I downloaded it from a free font website, excuse me. Okay, we're going to call it Flora's Flowers. Now, put that rotation down there. Yep. Let's make that correct, straightened up. You know what? I will do it my way. There we go. Okay. Alright, so that's the font, what it's going to look like. Now what I'm going to do is edit the text, make it use this circle, and use the outline. And, excuse me. We will come back to the font, but we're going to pinch those all together because this is still just the sketch. We're going to take the opacity way down and go to the next layer. And this is where the inking process begins. Now, it depends on which way you want to do this. If you want to just ink it and color it in, that's fine. If you want to have a watercolor, that's fine too. This is your logo. It's whatever you want to do with it. So we're going to put the vertical back on. We're going to have to turn the assisted on this time. Then we're going to draw an arc. Hold your finger down. It does not have to be perfect right when you draw it. Now we're going to go to edit. Fancy it up a little bit. Go in, try to make it as close as possible like I just did, and then draw the line, draw the other line, then you're done with that part. Now next we're going to redraw the flowers. Now the reason why you always want to make them on a separate layer is in case if you want to change anything. That's not even. So for example, if you don't want the sunflower to be pink anymore, you put it on a separate layer, then you can always change it later. Whether it's a sketch or an ink, doesn't matter. Now what we're going to do is erase that line. We don't really have to do that. Actually, matter of fact, let me show y'all guys. The reason why we don't have to do that this time is we just simply don't group them together. We take this layer number 3 and put it behind the circle. And then whatever you color in this box area, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to go with a random color. We're going to go with pink. That's going to be in front of the flower now, so you really don't have to do that. Now, let's get our handy dandy tool back out. Radial. Bring the blue up to the center. Now, we got the ink pencil still out. And you just trace the circle first. put the assisted back on. I know it looks like a weird looking lollipop right now, but just bear with me. Okay, and then we do that. See, no longer looks like a weird looking lollipop. Take the assisted off, fix the stem, size it down, then fix the stem so that way you can get into these little crevices. Get the ink pencil back out, or ink pen, excuse me. And then you're done with that one. Moving on to the next one, you do the same process over again, the stem first. But the stem is a bit curved with this one. Now you do the tulip part. Size that down a bit. There you go. Make that go in. Make that part go in. And then you do the bulb part. Then you erase this little thing down here. And then you're good to go with that one. And now we finally move on to the last, but not least, flower. Draw another line. Now I know, like I said, our rose is a little messed up, but that is A-okay. Not all designs need to be extremely perfect. You are learning. You can always put your own spin on all designs. Just don't steal any personal designs. Like an OC, original character, or creation. Don't steal the design from the artist. Day by day, I will help people draw, or at least try to help people draw, so that way we can stay away from generative AI. Because all AI is not bad. Generative AI is, because all that it is stealing from real artists. They take art images from certain websites, put them into these systems, and then you get a whole bunch of art. Or art. Quote unquote art. Anywho, we're going to pinch all these flowers together. And then now remember, you don't actually have to erase this area, because guess what? We're going to color it in so you don't have to. Now we have to get back the text. Floras. Flowers. Okay, we put this down here. Make sure that's quite even, okay? Now, in order to get that outline back again, you have to select all, edit style, and go to the attribute, which is this O. Then you hit check mark. Then that's done. So what we're doing now is we're taking the sketch out by unchecking that one. And now, guess what time it is? It's coloring time. So we rasterize the font text. Now, if you're sure you're done with it, you don't want to make any adjustments to it, if that's it, rasterize it. Because once you do, I mean, you could always press undo by using this little arrow down there, or by putting 2 fingers on the painting, like such, just tapping, and then it'll undo. Now, if you want to redo, you put 3 fingers down and just tap it, and then it'll redo it. Or you can use the little arrows down here in this corner in order to redo and undo. Okay, now let's color this in. So what I'm going to do at this point, because we're all done, there's nothing else that needs to be done, is merge them all together. Now, I said you didn't have to do this, but I'm doing this to benefit myself. erase the stems. You really don't have to. There's other ways around this. I'm just wanting to help myself be less confused. And erase all the stems right there. Now you see how that's behind what we're trying to do here? Then merge it all down. Then what we're going to do is click the layer, reference, select layer 1, and then push the little plus button, have another layer there. Now we're going to go for some colors here. Now we're going for a little bit of girly neon because the font is like a 60s vibe. So we're going to go with a pink background for this part, continue filling, and all you have to do is tap. Make your life easier. And then we select a new layer, and for this rectangular part we're going to choose a darker color. So we're going to go with this darkish pink color, continue filling, and then scroll in and do the little white areas now, like such. Now, you're done with that. Now, if you really want to get fancy with it, all you have to do is select layer. If you want to make sure all the areas filled in, you go to your favorite coloring brush or whatever be the case, and you just color in the rest. But see, I feel like if it's far enough back, you really don't have to do all that because nobody can really see all that white. But you want to make it perfect for your clientele or even your business. Now, next one is we're going to start to color in the flower. So we're going to take this yellow and put it in the middle of that sunflower. Then we're going to take let's go with the red for the sunflower. That's a little bit too close to the background. And then we're going to go with the orange. That's fine. Now, what you can do is tap again. Now, for the next color, we're going to go with the red because, we are making a rose here. And then what you want to do for the back colors, to be honest, you can color the entire thing red to be real. Because a rose is red, or it can be black. I've never seen any other colors besides that, though, but that's just me personally. Now, we're going to go to a pink color, try to make it as light as possible, because this is a tulip. Now, if you feel like this color is matching this color too much, what you can do is go back to this layer, select, and then as such. Now, to move on, green, because the stems are always green. I've never seen a non-green stem. Fill all that in with green. Now, for the font, what we're going to do here is, again, this is a 60s type vibe, and it's girly. So, we're going to color all that in with this light purple color. Just keep on tapping. Now we're going to make a new layer because we're going to try something fancy here because we are fancy. Now we got the highlighter tool. And really, this is my highlighter too, but all this is the simple airbrush tool from Classic Library. I use a lot of their brushes. So this is all this one is the soft airbrush tool. But these are all my custom ones. And I will be making a stamps video soon and promoting it. So that way, if you guys want to purchase any of my stamp brushes that I made, you can. Now, what this does is it makes it look a little bit better in my opinion. I love using this highlight tool. Or airbrush tool. I apologize. Alright. highlighting always just gives it more flavor, if you will. Now, in no means or necessary that I am professional. I consider myself honestly an amateur. I did not get a college degree for art. I've just learned from watching YouTube videos, mainly like this Australian artist named Jazza and Draw with Flow. I've watched their videos so much that I've just learned from them. And I watch Procreate videos on TikTok as well. Now, what we're going to do here is go to this little adjustments thing that you see up there. Go to Gaussian Blur, and then blur it. I'd put it to a 4% because if you put it any more, it's just going to look weird. Now, what we can do to put some more final touches on it, I like to, for some reason, I've recently liked to go like Tim Burton style. Or I consider it Tim Burton style, but this is how I do my flowers. Is I make a weird looking circle in the middle of them. Oof. But I usually ink that. But I was going to say there's not much more you can do to it other than maybe putting some highlights here and there. Like right here, you can put some highlights. I know I keep calling it highlight. It's just the airbrush tool, by the way, guys. Gaussian blur. And then if you want to get really fancy with it, you could just make that lower so that way it's pretty but it's not hard to see or whatever. You can still see it. And then we'll just do that to her rose as well. Okay. Gaussian blur again. See, I don't know, highlights and shadows always just make a drawing look better in my opinion. I don't know why, and I don't know who made that up, but it does. And Gaussian blur, excuse me. Now, if you really want to get fancy with it, which we always love to here, what you can do is give it a little bit of shadowing. You take that, what's this tool called? I don't know what this tool is called. Well, whatever this tool is called, this little snake looking thing. Go down here and make a rectangular box behind that. And then already it would have the shadow. Now what you're going to do here is you play with it a little bit to get it to match. Okay. And then Gaussian blur. And then now it just makes the font pop out a little bit more. And if you want to, you could do that with the flowers as well. You duplicate the layer. You go to here, you select, and the entire thing is now black. So what we're going to do, Gaussian blur again. Now sometimes with those layers you have to duplicate them a little bit for it to actually show. But I duplicated it 3 times and it makes it pop a little bit more. Now to make this look a little bit brighter and show out, you can do, there we go. I think that is a better looking color in my opinion. Now with that being said, guys, that is our finished design. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And also I will be having the Canva logo video coming up soon. But this is the Procreate one. And if you like this video, comment down below and I will make more videos. If you have any questions, please comment so I can make tutorials or just help you in general. I have been using Procreate for at least I'd say a good 6 or more years. Again, I don't have an art degree. I am not a professional artist. I just have learned so much from other artists on YouTube and TikTok over the years that I've started incorporating into my own drawings. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and stay blessed, and always be grateful. Laters.